And there we are. So, hey guys, welcome to Garden Chat Live. We're on Blab, and I've got my awesome co host with me here, Pam of Growing North. Thank you so much for helping out with us. It's a lot of
Oh,
work.
I don't mind at all. It's fun. It's fun.
Mhm.
I get to make faces, like I said earlier before we went live. I get to make faces at you, and it's awesome.
Great.
I love it.
That's awesome. So I'm really excited because we are heading into one of the funnest times in gardening, I think, which is seed starting. What do you think? Isn't that fun? Is that one of your favorite things about gardening is seeds?
Oh yeah, I'm always throwing seeds in the ground. That's
Yeah.
kind of one of those things when people say that they're scared about gardening.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? The seed knows what it's doing. You just kind of take it, you put it in the seed knows what it's doing. Just try it out, have some fun.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's always that amazing thing. It's like this little seed,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you get this plant, and then you get this bigger plant, and then it makes these peppers and things. Just like it was a seed. It's a little seed.
It's crazy.
I love it.
And surprising, I know a few years ago, I started a very tiny seed, a cannon. I always say it wrong. Usually we buy them in the roots, right? It's a tuber. But this was actually a seed, and it grew. It grew. I mean, it took a couple of years. I had to bring it in and out before it flowered, but that was just like the coolest thing for me. It felt like a
Well, it really is. It's kind of cool. I mean, every single time you go through the store and you see these weird seeds, you're like, I can grow that from seed. I want to grow that.
Right?
And then you bring home more seeds. I mean, it's. Let me see if I can find a picture here. It'll make you laugh. How many pictures do I have of like 10 million seeds?
Right.
That's not a good one. That's not a good one.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We've got quite a few people on here tonight. I'm pretty excited. And Delta Gardener, I was serious. If you want to throw some lip gloss on and take a seat tonight here live, we'd love that. I'd love to hear about your CD Saturday coming up. And oh wow, look at that. What is that? I have Pam with me, and she's doing a fun photo show there. What is
that? That's a miniature section of the seeds that I have. That's just the table part. If you had seen some of the other pictures, I'm not going to try and grab it right now, but there's boxes on the floor that have all these little boxes of these seeds packages in them. It's just like, of course, because what I need to do is go seed shopping, right? So you go through the seeds, it's like try to put the blinders on. And they're like, oh, I can grow that from seed. Well, now I need the seeds.
I have one of my boxes with me. Of course, Seed Keepers. They were just on the Gardenchat. Yeah, and look, I really am organized. This is one of my boxes. So it's pretty cool. This is like the first one I got from them back when I first found them, or maybe they found me. I'm not sure. 2006, I think, is when we connected. But it's really nice because they give little seed facts on the cards. I don't know. I really should show a photo, but fun stuff. How exciting! So Kristen's in the chat room, and she says CD Saturday is a big event here with 35 vendors and 4 great garden speakers and a seed swap. Big event, a small town. That is awesome. Now, you're all the way over on the northwest coast, I'm guessing. Unfortunately, that's too far for me to drive. I wish I could attend that one. It sounds fun. So if you're joining us live right now on Blab, welcome. I'm really excited to have you guys on. And I hope you guys will all share in the chat room. I'd love to learn from you and hear about what you're starting from seed indoors. And I have my lovely co-host with me, Pam. This is Growing North. Thank you. How exciting.
Next time I'll do a little dance or something.
Hey, I found a picture of my those canna seeds. Here it is.
Oh, great! Great, sure.
Look how little they are.
Are they wrapped up in something? Are they like beaded into something? Kind of like they do with the impatient seeds or something like that?
Boy, I think that's just a seed.
Cool.
I think. I mean, I just took and dropped that in. the soil indoors in a container. In fact, I'll tweet mine out because I actually have a couple that are popping up because I started more. But that's
of course, because it's an addiction.
I know, right?
It really is.
Well, and you know, I mean, like there were some of those in town. The Cannon, or how do you say that? Canna, Canna. There you go.
Canna.
Anyways, they had used a few of those in town in the middle of a container planting, and toward fall when I was up in town, I noticed they had made the seed, so I grabbed a couple of the seeds out of the flower.
Oh my god!
I
don't know. Addicted gardener when?
I don't know if that'll work, but it might. Hey, they were just gonna deadhead them anyway, so.
No, I think that's awesome.
Spread the love. Yeah, I love it. Flying fish. You go. You got
the first thing up here. I'm going to throw a question for you.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to type a question in saying, what is the difference between direct sowing and indoor sowing?
Okay. That's a great question because I was very confused about that many years ago. If you get me on a bad day, I'm confused then too. Okay. So how do you want to do this? Want to just start talking about it?
Well, yeah. Let's just answer the question. I mean, if people at the side have an answer as well, type it in. We'll answer that for you.
Sounds good. So direct sow is pretty much what we were talking about on Twitter tonight, right? It seems like everything I saw was direct sow. And that's what you're going to start indoors, right? In a container? Well,
no, direct sow would be like something like this.
Oh, wait. Yeah. See, I got it.
Yeah, direct sow would be when you have your seeds, and I mean, it's already, the frost has passed, and some things are okay, a little bit okay when it's a bit iffy. But your frost has passed. You're not worried about that. For people who don't have frost, obviously just throw something in the ground when you want to.
Right.
But you can kind of see how little rows there, and the seed's been put directly into the spot that they are going to grow, mature, finish off. There's no moving them ever. They're right where they want to be.
Okay.
So that would be your direct sow.
So direct sow, you could do that indoors too, right? I mean, if you're growing under lights or in a greenhouse or a dome or tunnel or something, right?
You can, yeah, like, because that was in my greenhouse, that bed there.
Mm-hmm.
Where I direct sowed it, but I'm not putting them in the little containers or anything like that and then transplanting them later. I'm putting them where they're going to grow. That's it. Okay. I put the seed in, it's growing. I will harvest it, and by the time it's done, the plant is done. Okay. I'm not going to be moving it or doing anything else. Okay. Let me see if I can find another picture here for you.
Delta Gardner says she likes to direct sow plants that don't like to be transplanted. That's smart. Oh, that looks nice.
And so this would be indoor sow, like seed starting essentially, where you put the little seeds in and wait for them to grow, and then you transplant. Okay. Sometimes you end up potting them up a couple times as well, where you have this, and then you put them into a larger pot until you can actually switch that out. I'll see if I can find another picture here. So this would be something that would be potted up. Nice. So that's a little pepper. I think that might be a Medusa pepper or something. I don't remember. Ooh. But so started it seed indoors in those little pellets and then potted it up as it got a bit bigger. But this isn't quite ready to go outdoors. Okay. Ooh, what kind? Is that like a hot pepper or what kind of pepper? It's an ornamental hot pepper. Ooh, yum. I like the peppers. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We've got quite a few people in the room here tonight. Invite your friends. Click over on the left there and click the Facebook or Twitter, and let's get talking about planting seeds. I'm excited. This is fun stuff. And I like it here. Flying Fish has, she said, indoor sowing is the process of starting seed indoors before the last frost, then transplanting outside when weather is good for growth. Ooh, that's a good answer. Mm-hmm. See, so much more direct than, what we just did. Yeah. Very cool. And then,
Yeah, I'm gonna do more of that like mass planting, like what you showed in the first picture there, where you just go ahead and put all the seeds in there in like a flat tray, right? Instead of dividing them up. And then as they sprout up, I'm gonna go ahead and transplant them if need be.
Yeah, some things do really well that way. Things that have a kind of a fibrous root network.
Yeah.
Certain things don't like that, and that's going to kind of go into our next question. Things that have a taproot.
Okay.
So carrots,
Oh,
beets,
yeah.
parsnips, anything that's a root like that, like a taproot, doesn't like it. But lettuce, they're like a fibrous root system. They don't really care.
Okay. Yeah, Flying Fish says, I'll be starting seeds indoors end of March, then transplanting outside in mid-May. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see. So what can we start indoors? If you're in the chat room with us live, please share with us like what are you starting indoors right now? Just just type that out there. I know I'm kind of all mixed up. I do things a little different. Like I've got some tomatoes that even though I'm in Ohio Zone 5B, I would not have been starting these, which they got a little leggy, and me and Pam can talk about that in a minute here. But see, I got my little containers here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant those and do some new containers here because I kind of made a boo-boo there, but not really. It can be saved because they're tomatoes, but
they're tomatoes.
Anyhow, yeah. But I'm in Ohio, and I would not normally be starting my tomato seeds until another, March. Usually the 1st of March. Around then, I start them indoors. So what are you all starting? Any flowers? Or I wonder if Lisa of Houseplant Guru is on with us. Have you ever tried planting any of your houseplants from seed? I know I get a few seeds on some of my spider plants sometimes, and I've never tried doing that, starting a seed. But,
might as well.
Yeah. I just keep forgetting.
Actually, we have Kristen here said some seeds take a few months to grow, such as lobelia and impatiens. Mm-hmm. And that's another really good point. Aside from what we've got here is the question of what can I start indoors is what should you start indoors? Because something that takes that long, like for me, leeks, mm-hmm. I get 3 months of growing outdoors without frost. And I have to start them indoors in February because leeks are such a slow growing thing, especially for me, but they're cold tolerant. So they're a good crop for the north. You just have to start them early if you're doing it from seed.
Sure. That makes sense.
And I think Flying Fish here has said any warm season crops you can start indoors, peppers, tomatoes, and basil. Right. So that's one that you can do as well. Huh. Oh, and Bren's got an awesome little animation there saying how to ask a question. So kind of what I was doing where it pops up as a question, you can put a little slash and a Q and then type your question in. And then it'll get that little interesting thing pop up at the side and I'll be able to bring it up for us.
There we go. Awesome. So, Kristen starts perennial flowers now and dahlia seeds. I started those last year, the seeds, and they got lost somewhere. I don't know. I had like too many seeds going. And that's probably a good example of what not to do. Don't start too many seeds because it can get a little overwhelming, right?
Yeah, it can. I have the bad habit of I always put 2 in regardless. I always plant extra seeds because I've gotten over my dislike of removing and kind of eliminating the extra seedlings. Mm-hmm. My sister will not do that. That's my job. Right. So I always have to make sure I have the extra ones removed before I give them to her, or else she tries to save everything. If she's there when I do it, I pull the seedling out to get rid of it. She tries to replant it.
Right.
Baby plants, can't get rid of them. So I plant extras because I don't want to be short.
Okay.
But I do have to kill off some of them.
Okay. That makes sense. Wait, did you say your cat or your sister?
No, my sister.
Oh, I thought you said your cat. Sorry.
No, my sister. My sister.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay. Oh, how fun. So, Kristen was curious about my dome. Here, I got to show a picture. I love this picture. Let me do this. I hope you can see it. It's a GIF. I had so much fun with Scott, Gotta Grow It, and Clint of Harvest Pathway. We just met online and got talking about dome that Clint was putting together. He's apparently went to Alaska even and all over the place putting these together. And I said, hey, really? And they told me the price, and it was like, wow, I want one of these. It's affordable. And so here it is. There it is going up. We had a great time. It's a 20-foot geodesic biodome. And how does it compare to my greenhouse? I have a 10 by 12 greenhouse, which was great. And you guys know, you follow me online. I love that greenhouse. In fact, I was hoping to build a bigger greenhouse, and then I came across, this design that Clint and Scott have, and because it was affordable, I went for it. And I'm a dome girl now. I love it. I'm literally like, I'm gonna move in out there. I love it. It's so different. The plants are doing so much better, and I had like heat and everything in the greenhouse way before I put some back up in the dome, which I hardly even need. So wow, I don't, yeah. I could go on and on. I don't even know where to begin. It's so much easier to like growing food in there, where like in my greenhouse, I've tried it in trays and big containers and things like that, right? Like I did carrots and Swiss chard and all that in containers. But out in the dome, I don't know, it's just the way the structure is, and then the wrap on that, which is a solar wrap, it's very cool. In fact, I was kind of talking to my husband about how we might be able to rewrap the greenhouse in that solar wrap, but I like all the space in the 20-foot dome as well. I have more, ceiling height and stuff like that. So yes, come on over. You could live in there for a few days. That would be great. I saw in the chat room, is it Tyler Mack? Is that how you say that? Yes, it would be fun. Actually, I am going to end up camping out there. It's just, it's pretty cool. So anyways, we should get back to seeds. I shouldn't talk all about me and my dome, right?
Okay, I'm just going to answer quickly. Bren's dome is heated by passive solar. She does have a backup radiant heater in there, but it really hasn't been needed, especially it's been a warm year.
Yeah, big.
And the domes do really, really well.
Yeah.
So it's mainly passive solar.
Right. In fact, here's some more. I've got tons of little containers with, oh boy, radishes, all different radishes, arugula. In fact, tonight I shared on Instagram, I've got tons of kale. So I cut up some kale and some parsley and some of the celery leaf green. I put that in a salad tonight. All from, well, the whole salad wasn't from the dome, I wish. No tomatoes, not quite, it's not magical, right?
Although you could grow lettuce indoors if you wanted to start the seeds yourself as well. You could do that all winter long.
Oh, yeah. The lettuce.
Without a dome.
Anybody can do that.
Yeah, lettuce you can do indoors if you want.
Yeah.
So that's one that you can start, and doesn't matter what time of year, just go ahead and start some lettuce and have a little bit of light on it. Mm-hmm. You can do indoor lettuce yourself all year.
Definitely.
So that's one thing you could also do indoors.
Yeah. Oh, lettuce.
So just going to drag us back onto seeds here.
Yeah.
And write down here, what supplies do you need to start seeds indoors? And I'm going to invite everybody to put your question or your answers as well to what do you need, and think about that word need to start seeds indoors, and we'll keep on talking on that.
Yeah. You don't need a whole lot to start seeds indoors. In fact, I have fun with just a little like a sprout container. because sprouts are a really fun thing to grow indoors, especially right now if you're typically gloomy outside and things like that. You want to keep those sprouts out of direct sunlight anyhow, and you can grow sprouts with no soil, just some water, right?
Yeah, and Bryn, Kristen has also said that she would start a new gardener using recycled containers at first to keep the expenses down.
Totally.
And even I would say even experienced gardeners, there's some really, really neat, fun things, and they're shiny and they're really cool. And you're like,
Yeah.
ooh, I want that. But you can grow everything that you want to just like that with recycled containers. I've used egg containers. I've used egg shells. You can actually crack the top off. You can plant right inside the eggshell.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly fine. So if you don't even have enough recycled things, then you can just find stuff. You can wrap some paper into a little tube. I guess so what you need falls back down to the very basics that almost everybody knows. You need soil, you need water, and you need light. And if you want to get really picky, you need the right temperature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that would be the list of needs. And so however you make those needs happen, soil, water, light, and the right temperature, however you make that happen, you can start seeds indoors.
Definitely.
So I'm not going to say you need this supply from this supplier and it costs this much from this store. It doesn't matter.
Right. Right. Yeah, definitely. And then, one thing I'm noticing though, well, you have grow lights as a backup. Too,
I do.
Right.
I do.
I'm noticing there's.
I have terrible windows, and
Yeah.
in where I live in the north in the winter, there's next to no sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to supplement light in order to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike some other zones where you have enough daylight hours in the winter to do what you want to. I don't. So I have to supplement if I want to grow in the winter. And seeds start in April. I still don't have enough light.
Sure. But have you noticed up in Canada, well, I guess you can purchase them online, those grow lights, they've really come down in price. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah. They have. And I think it's because there's more people producing them because more people are using them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So that's, so you may spend a couple $100 on a nice set of grow lights, right? But they last.
You could do it even cheaper.
Yeah. Oh, that looks nice.
You can find any rack on sale, and you can get a couple little hooks and some cheap chain, and you can see that the person here has just taken super cheap, like $10, whatever kind of light fixture for a fluorescent light, put a piece of wood between them, sure. And super, super cheap instant grow table.
Look at that.
So you could spend a couple $100. You could spend $1,000.
Yeah.
Or you could just kind of make something.
Very cool. That's very cool. So,
sorry to just jump in there with you, Bren. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
throwing that in.
No, that's great. Tyler Mack is in the chat room, and she says she uses shop lights that can be very cheap.
Yeah,
that's cool.
as long as it holds the fluorescent tube.
Yeah, I don't know the science behind it. Do you know much about why, like red in the lights is good for the plant?
Well, it's actually what's absorbed mostly by the chlorophylls in the plant. Some plants, if you think about the light spectrum, let's go back to basic science on light.
Mm-hmm.
White is white because it reflects every spectrum back to us. And so we see all of the spectrums. And when our eye says that, it's white.
Okay.
Black absorbs most of them. So it's not reflecting them. So we're not actually seeing the light. It's being absorbed. It's going away.
Okay.
When you think about green, it's because the leaf is reflecting the green light back at you.
Okay.
And then you see all those variegated leaves and different things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because it's absorbing one kind of light and reflecting the other kind of light. Okay?
Okay.
So certain things want to absorb certain colors of light, and so tomatoes absorb a lot of red.
Okay.
That's why you see like the red mulch, things like that. Other ones have different wavelengths requirements, but if you think that the leaf is green, so they want green light,
yeah,
that's wrong, because they're actually reflecting the green back at you and absorbing others.
Oh.
It's the opposite of what you might think. Right? See green because they're reflecting green.
Okay. So when you use a basic shop light, that's just like white.
It's missing some of the spectrum, and some plants will do okay with it.
Okay.
But a full spectrum is much better because you don't always know. And
okay.
Yeah, it definitely does go with the spectrum of light that they would absorb, and they're going to reflect green.
Okay. Got it. That stuff can be kind of complicated, right?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Oh, this is a good question. Delta Gardner has a great, she's in the chat room here live, and she says, any organic ways to prevent damping off?
That's a good question.
There's
a lot of methods. I'm sure, Bren, you've got a couple, and I've got a couple. So,
first of all, can we explain what damping off is? Can you help me out? Help me out with that.
Help you out with that? Okay, damping off is a fungal issue. Okay.
Oh.
You won't always see fungus, but essentially the plant starts getting very weak, thin, and it essentially goes mushy.
Yes.
Okay. That's the classic damping off. There are some others where you see a little bit of fungus, things like that. And Kristen, if you have something specific that you wanted to mention about damping off, just type it in and we'll grab it. And so Kristen says that she's heard chamomile tea for damping off. And so that would be kind of like a treatment, an organic treatment. And I've heard cinnamon as well for damping off.
Okay.
There's also methods, which would be more like a technique instead of like applying something. Make sure you don't overwater. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't overwater your plants. Don't get the leaves wet. Okay.
Right.
So water from underneath. That's another technique to just naturally prevent damping off. So you water from underneath the plant, it soaks it up, and it keeps the water where it needs to be and not on the top of the plant. The more water you have on the plant, the easier the fungus can get in. Exactly. And that was the next one. Houseplant Guru says a fan. Air movement.
Right.
You want air movement. You do not want the air just sitting because, and this is going to be Bren's favorite word, you have a microclimate happening. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got your pot sitting right there. And so this would be the soil level, right? And you got your little plant growing up, right? And so little leaves are sitting at the top there. But right around here, if you don't have the air moving, you have a higher humidity microclimate than you do over here.
Right.
Okay. Right. So get that air moving. Get a fan going all the time. Exactly. Fan in my sunroom going 24/7, 365. Perfect. That's also moving your temperatures around. Okay. So you don't end up with all that moisture sitting and causing problems for the plants. You keep it moving. So there's a couple, mechanical techniques. Water from the bottom. Don't overwater. Keep a fan going. And then there's, the ones where you can apply something. I have heard cinnamon. I haven't tried it. Okay. I have heard about applying things like a sulfur. Some people say that's not very organic, but I mean, sulfur happens in radishes. Sulfur happens in grapes. Okay. So some people say it is, some people say it isn't. Well, I'm not going to get into that debate. And then there's some people have said chamomile tea and other applications like that. I haven't tried them. I don't know. All I know is, the mechanical, keep your water down, keep your air moving, water from the bottom. And don't let dirt sit on the top, like dead leaves.
Yeah.
Bits and grossness, all right? I'm going to call it grossness, technical term here.
Okay.
Get rid of all of the dead organic matter from the top.
I didn't really know that that's what that was called, but I've had that happen before. So a couple of times, and I'm trying to remember exactly which plant it was that did that to me. Sometimes I just figured, oh, well, I have enough seeds, and I just took all those that were looking like that, that mucky, like mushy, and I just pulled them out and compost them. However, there were a few plants that I didn't want to part with. So what I did was I remember transplanting them. So like putting more soil, or you know what I mean? So they kind of got moved up to a bigger container.
Yep. And Kristen's agreeing with you here, saying she saved 4 plants with immediate repotting.
Yeah. And usually, I mean, if I remember correct, see, I really haven't had that happening so much now because most of my seeds that I start are in that, I have like a little indoor, like little greenhouse tent type thing. I'll tweet it out at the end of this presentation. And the grow lights that I use in there, the LED lights actually have a fan built into them. So I think what's happening is maybe I'm getting enough movement, and
It's probably
and I'm also resisting watering because I like to water. So anyhow.
Yeah, just give them the water they need, Bran. Don't give them too much.
I know.
Too much love.
Too much. I know.
And so also Houseplant Guru brought this up, and this is another thing to do with the fan.
Mm-hmm.
When you're growing stuff, fans are really important if you have the ability to put air movement in there.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, that's okay. There's other ways to avoid the leggy, and this is what Bren mentioned earlier. Her tomatoes went leggy.
Yeah.
That mechanical pressure from that air is going to cause the plants to put more energy into strengthening the stem and really hardening off. You're starting to harden the plant off at this point. If you do that, then you're not going to get them as leggy. You're going to get these really thick-stemmed, healthy, strong plants, and especially with tomatoes, you're going to get better tomatoes because they can support better tomatoes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a really important thing with the fans as well. If you don't have it, just kind of brush your hand over top of them.
So I have them right
Those
here.
are needing some help.
Yeah, but check it out though. I totally recycled. It's a K-cup with a hole in the bottom. And this is like at least the 3rd or 4th time I've used this cup, because you just pop it out and it just popped right out. So what I did though,
Yeah.
So this is leggy, I'm assuming, and we've talked about this before, because I actually left for a few days for a show, and I turned my grow lights off and didn't put it on the timer. So it went without the lights for a few days. And so I'm guessing he was trying to find some light, right?
Yeah, he was trying to find some light because they got a time limit on them. Seeds seem to know this. They've only got so much food in that seed. So when they sprout, the race is on. Get the light, get the root down, or else they're going to run out of food. They've got that finite little stash in the seed, and they got to get up to the light before that stash is gone.
Okay, so what I'm going to do though is I'm going to pop this out, and I'm going to put more soil in this cool little fiber cup thing, and I'm going to put it right in there and add more soil. Maybe take it all the way up. What do you think?
Take it all the way up. Take it all the way up.
And
right all the way up.
Oh my gosh, I have 3 seeds in here. There's 2 here, and there's another one popping up. How cool is that? These are. This is a container variety too. I got like 20 of these going. I hope they all live. Give them to
so
some
actually,
of my friends.
Flying Fish is agreeing with you with exactly what you're going to be doing. If tomatoes grow leggy or keep falling over, you can bury most of the stem, and it will grow more root structure to stabilize the plant.
Yay.
And that's exactly it. You don't want to plant a tomato too deep when you transplant it. It's better to grow it lengthwise because tomatoes have surface roots.
Yeah.
They get most of pull everything from the surface. But if they are leggy like that, yes, drop them down and work it that way, especially for seedlings. For the transplanting horizontally, you kind of want like a older plant already.
Okay.
So I'm going to transfer here. And this is another thing to try and help if you don't have high power lights. You can see them above the tomatoes there. Keep them a couple inches above your tomatoes. And that'll help to prevent them from getting too leggy. So that's another method you can use there. These ones aren't super short. They're not super stocky, but that does help to keep them from getting a bit leggy, or is keeping the lights really close.
Oh, okay. But now, like on the red lights, you're supposed to keep those farther away, right?
I don't know much about using them.
I think.
But
I'm going to have to ask at Farmer Tyler on Twitter. He's been sharing some fun things with his grow lights he's got going on. Boy, that guy's going to Mars with all his plants.
Yeah, the red lights are not something that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that they don't need to be as close because the full spectrum, only a certain percentage of it is red light, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
So with a red light, you've got a higher percentage of the light that they're going to use. So maybe you can get away. I don't know enough about it to really say yes or no, but it makes logical sense to me that that would be true.
Very cool. So we have quite a few people in the chat room with us now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bren of BrenHaas.com. And this is Pam, my co-host of GrowingNorth.ca. And we're really excited. We're talking about starting seeds indoors. I think, don't you think you could save a lot of money when you start your own plants from seeds? Pam, what do you think?
I'm going to say you can. I'm going to say don't get caught up with all of the fancy if you don't need the fancy. I need the grow lights. We covered that earlier in the chat. I don't have enough lights in my zone at around the time that I need to grow things.
Right.
But if you have a nice window and you've got some great recyclables, even if you've got like one tray and you just mass plant all your seeds in there and then transplant them out, you could save a lot more money. If you get into all of the really high-tech stuff, well, it'll take you a little bit more time to make your money back from the amount of seeds you're growing. That becomes more like a hobby versus a seed saving.
Right. Just try to keep it simple. Yeah,
keep it simple. Plants are simple. Plants are simple. Gardening is simple. Do it simple. Don't make them fancy and crazy. They don't have to be. They're simple.
It's a lot of fun. So, hey, how about if you guys are joining us live in the chat room tonight on Blab, could you type a 1 if you've ever started seeds indoors for your garden or house plant or however you grow? Just type a 1 in there. Just let us know. How exciting.
Yay!
I'm trying to think back. Oh, we got quite a few. Do you remember, what was the first thing you grew from seed? Can you remember? I'm trying to remember. I bet it was something.
I'm gonna make a guess. I'm gonna make a guess that it was a bean.
That's pretty cool.
I think most people started a bean, probably in school, or a piece of corn against a glass walled thing to watch it grow.
Yeah.
And that's always fun. I think I'm on it now.
I know I have a section. I know I have a section in my kids' baby book. I know I did write what they did, and of course it was flowers, like sunflowers. We did sunflowers, but
marigolds, not marigolds. You did sunflowers?
Yeah, I did sunflowers. Yeah, really. I've always liked sunflowers. I like marigolds too.
Oh, and Lelper saying that she remembers a kindergarten project just like that, where you put the bean next to the glass and you put a little bit of cotton and water in there and you watch the thing grow and you take it home and it dies on you and you cry.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Last year I was at the Chicago Flower and Garden Show, which is coming up. I think it's in March. And somebody from one of the community gardens or the ag department up there in Illinois, they gave away, I had a bean sprout growing. They put it on a piece of yarn and it was in a little baggie. And so the way they had put it in there, it was growing. So I had a live necklace. I was walking around. It was kind of cool. It actually grew. It was a soybean. It was kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show some of the fancy things that you don't need, but that are fun and fancy for growing seeds.
Oh, cool. We're going to have a photo show. Now those are cool.
Soil blockers. So let me show you the larger version here. So I actually have them with me, so I'll switch over and show you these.
Okay, no,
they're
those
fun.
Are cool.
They are fun.
Do they does it clicky click sound on the top? It looks like it would push down.
Yeah, it goes like this. Because
that's what I thought. Cool.
Jam these little holes here. You see how my finger can fit right in?
Yeah.
You fill those with soil. And you see how tiny they are, right? These are the first stage. So you fill that up and you squish down, and it puts all the little soil blocks out.
That's cool.
And I have a picture of those to show you after. But so after you use that little one and you get your seeds started, you use the big one.
Ah.
You can see inside here, see how it goes right inside, and there's this little extra block in there. That's the same size as the little ones. Okay, so you do the same thing here, and you squish them out. See how those blocks go down? So your repotting is really easy. You take this bigger block and you pick up the tiny block and you drop it right into that pre-made little hole.
Cool.
They're really noisy though. Can you hear that big scrape when I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda
So
like
that's them. Yeah. Well, but you know what? When you're doing them, you're like, oh yeah, that's fun. It's fun. It's fun. But
Right.
I'll show you what the blocks look like when they come out. Let me find this picture here.
Do you end up making?
So this is the little blocks. You know what? All the time, and it doesn't matter because you take the soil and you throw it right back into your little bucket.
That's cool. Hey, so
And
oh, I think I'm getting an echo. Can you hear me? Okay.
no, I can hear you. It's all good.
Okay. Houseplant Guru says you need some WD-40.
Or Pam. I am Pam.
Pam, you're right. Do you guys have that in Canada? It's like a spray oil.
We do, and my husband bugs me all the time.
Calls you Pam.
He's like, oh no, Pam, it's what? Really?
That's cute.
Really? Do you feel like living today?
Right. I think did we miss Kristen's question there? What seeds need light to germinate? We didn't do that, did we?
I haven't answered it yet, but it is up here, and I'm glad that it's up there because otherwise we would miss it, and that's not good. So some need seeds to germinate and some don't, which obviously Kristen's acknowledging. I'm not exactly sure which ones need light to germinate. I know some of them have to be in complete darkness to germinate. So things like pansies. Pansies, cover those things with a black sheet or whatever. Some keep it dark until they have germinated because they're just not going to pop up. But ones that need light to germinate, I'm not sure about which ones need light because all I know is that some of them can't have it. So hopefully Bren has an answer for that, or maybe Kristen can shed a little bit of light on her question. No pun intended.
Yeah, I'm kind of the wrong person to ask about germination because I mean, literally, like, I get all these seeds, I pay attention to the map on the back, right? And so I know kind of when I need to plant them. And then I just kind of find some soil and I plant them. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh, well, I don't know. Is that bad? Works for me.
Well, Flying Fish is giving us some information here. And actually, this makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Ageratum, begonia, broalia, impatiens, lettuce, and petunia. And that actually makes sense because lettuce, you plant those seeds broadcast very shallow at the top of the soil. Right. You do not put them deep at all. You basically don't even make a trench. You just kind of sprinkle them on and just kind of dust the soil around them. Which would make sense, yeah. And Kristen's saying right there, tiny seeds need light. But pansy seeds are super tiny and they need it dark. So it's a pretty good rule of thumb, but there's always, just like the English language, a few exceptions.
Okay. So she's saying the petunias need it dark?
Petunias need light.
Okay, got it. Okay.
It's the pansies. Pansies want it to be dark.
That's good to know because I was going to try starting some of those. I wonder if I'm too late to start those pansies.
No. You have a dome now.
Right.
You have a dome.
Yeah.
You could put some pansies in there for the winter.
I still have pansies
I have
growing in there. Oh, start petunias.
Yes. Start petunias soon. I can't start my petunias yet because it's too early for me because of I can't plant anything out until June.
Right.
So if I started some stuff now, I'd be having some troubles. But for Bren, yeah, zone 6, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Hey, look at this.
That looks
Can
cool.
you see it? It's just my lettuce. I love lettuce. It's so easy to grow.
It is. Lettuce is so easy to grow. Everyone should grow it. Everyone should just have a shelf built into their kitchen right by their window.
I know. You could totally do that.
I'm just going to put it like this decree. Everyone should grow lettuce.
It's so easy. That's a nice variety too. And you know, the crazy thing is too, I guess I noticed it a little bit in the spring. We have such weird springs though in Ohio. I'm in Zone 5B. Just the last 5 years have been so strange. Like I'll get my lettuce in when I'm supposed to. It'd be like really cold and it's coming up and it's doing really great. This is outside in the raised beds, right? Oh, there he is. Hi, baby. And then, she's a pretty girl. Oh, goodness.
Oh, he's a goofy boy. He's just a goofy boy.
And, gorgeous. So, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, 80 degrees in early May or late April. And, lettuce and peas don't really like that. So that stinks. But in the dome, I'm noticing like now I'm actually able to enjoy more lettuces and things like that, and the broccoli even. And the flavor is like so different when it grows in the cool temperatures. I don't know. Do you get to experience that very much? I mean,
cold crops should be grown in the cold. They taste better.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't help. I mean, obviously, I can't help in May when it's 80 degrees.
No, but you could plant them near water where there's cool breezes, where the soil's going to be colder underneath a tree.
Sure.
You could do some things like that. Oh, Kristen's going to leave us, but I'm really glad she was able to join us for a bit.
Thank you. That was fun.
And actually, Kristen, before she had gone and said that she plants out in early May in BC, but I was kind of looking at our map up here, and we have spots everywhere on this chat. So I was kind of curious if people wanted to start telling us when do they actually start their seeds or when do they plant out?
Right.
So Kristen is Zone 8A in BC. Wow. And I mean, that would be Canadian zones. I'm not sure how well they relate to the US zones. Probably pretty equal.
Okay.
So she's starting in May and I can't plant out until June.
Okay.
And sometimes it's middle of June. One year it was July. It was July before I could plant because of the way the frost was.
Oh, wow.
And so there are a few other spots all across the map here.
Mm-hmm.
And my season is done by September.
Yeah. So maybe if you're joining us live in the chat room and you know what hardiness zone you're in, just type the 5 or 4. It looks like we've even got some down in like toward Texas, kind of, it looks like. It's hard to tell. The whole map's black.
And we got 6A. That's nice.
Wow.
That's similar to you, Bren. You're 6, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but I always go 5B still just because I'm being a rebel.
Sounds cooler.
Yeah, cool. You're right. It's cool.
I'm gonna go by the Scott's gauge of zone, and Scott at Gotta Grow It tells me I'm zone -1, so I think I'm gonna go by the Scott scale.
Yeah. Oh, I miss Scott. He's not with us tonight.
Oh, Lelper says that she's in Texas, but not sure what zone it is. I'm gonna say it's zone warm all the time. As far as I'm concerned, everything's warm all the time.
I don't know. They had snow a few years ago. That'd be fun, though. I mean, you could essentially grow year-round outside, couldn't you, in Texas for the most part? I'm trying to find my... yeah.
Let me see if I can find...
Fun. So, is there anything... Are you really excited to grow this year that maybe you learned on Gardenchat or, something you saw last year that was new that's exciting to grow? Oh, wow. Yikes. Look at that.
I figured that would be fun for Texas. I'm like, if you could remember that it snowed a certain time, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because all I know is that there's always snow.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Is that like right now?
That was Saturday.
Oh my word. I have green grass.
I had to shovel out the greenhouse a couple times.
We have green grass in Ohio. I'm actually, okay, first I'm going to knock on wood, but I'm kind of missing snow. Now we're going to get hit hard. I just know it. Isn't that
I was
how
going to say, you did it now.
So
that was all you.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find a summer picture so that it looks a little bit more endearing here.
So Lisa, Houseplant Guru, agrees with me that she's sown 5B. And your garden is beautiful. Look at that picture of Pam's garden. I love the trellises that you made in there. You showed those last week up close, kind of. So if you're in the chat room, you'll see I actually put a link there to the Hardiness Zone Map. It's planthardiness.ars.usda.gov. That should take you to the map, and I think that's pretty useful to know where you grow, and that way you know when to start the seeds, right? I need to look at the Canadian map. I didn't know you guys had like your own Hardiness Zone map.
Well, come on, Bren. We don't all use the U.S. one.
Well, yeah.
No, I think it's pretty similar, to be honest. I'm just bugging you now. I'm pretty sure it's fairly similar. I've just never actually compared them because it's very hard because the U.S. one ends right at the border.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for me to see if it actually is equal, but I think it is fairly equal, to be honest.
Okay. I'm sure we probably collaborate on things like that, maybe. I don't know. We should. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of neat to see one even like in the UK and everything. Like, not that saying our US map is better than yours or anything, but
no, I think it is similar. I think
okay,
because the thing is, it says USDA, and the line does end, and if I look at the Canadian map, it ends. But I think where they kind of line up. Mm-hmm. If I look at it, I think it's about the same zones. So I really don't think it's majorly different.
Right.
The Scott scale is completely different.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Isn't there like, can somebody make like a global map with all the US, like it wouldn't be USC, US zoning, but I mean, because it'd be kind of neat to see. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to transfer out to a picture here and see if I can find something for you quickly.
Okay.
No dancing bear, no Jeopardy theme song. Sorry. You guys get to stare at a picture of a trellis.
That's gorgeous. I think that's pretty cool. What do you got in there? Eggplant and melons or pumpkins?
That is spaghetti squash.
Nice.
Growing it vertical.
Mine was doing really good last year. Till somebody stepped on it. And then it got that horrible white leaf stuff. Ugh.
Powdery milk.
Yeah, so frustrating. To try a different variety this year or something.
I'm going to put a link here, and I don't know if this is still relevant. I don't know how old this map is. Okay, so I'm gonna put a caveat there that I don't know how old it is, but it looks like they line up.
Yeah.
There's a copyright at the bottom of the page, but that doesn't tell me that the data is from that time. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Flying Fish was laughing today at the dark green grass in our yard. It's February. You're right. It's crazy. I know she's up in Michigan. It's crazy.
Well,
I got to look at your map.
I'm not that far then from Michigan.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining in, Lisa.
Yay.
Going to take off.
She's going to have fun tomorrow. Share some pictures from the, I think she's going to be out at the a really cool conservatory up there in Michigan. Maybe she'll tweet it out on #Gardenchat. That would be cool. Or just follow her, Houseplant Guru. How fun. So any questions? Ask some questions or share with us.
Yeah, we've got about 5 minutes left here. And so ask some questions if you've got them. You can always reach Bren or me on Twitter or at our respective websites. We've got them at the bottom of our pictures here.
Yeah.
Our little dancing pictures.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at the Gardenchat. I didn't see I didn't have time to tally and see if anybody won my I've got a bunch of seeds I'm giving away.
Well, I will go and tally stuff. Let me find you a little entertaining picture while I go and tally some stuff.
You don't
for
have to do that.
Oh yeah, I do, because you don't want to see the face they're gonna make of them sitting there trying to count and think. Let's avoid the thinking face. We'll find you something fun to look at.
So
Here,
fun.
try and count the number of. Try and count the seeds.
Oh my goodness! Whoever guesses the right amount wins some seeds. How about that? No.
No, because then I have to count them.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Holy cow. That's totally not happening.
You have a lot of seeds. That's cool. I've actually bought some more seeds this year too already. I can't help myself. Are you like that? So yeah, I've got some pretty good seeds I'm going to give away to somebody on Gardenchat. I've got a pumpkin called Hijinks. I didn't actually grow that one last year, but I did see it at a couple of the AAS trial gardens. And I've got some of those seeds I wanted to share. I just ran out of time and forgot to plant them. And however, I do have Chef's Choice pink tomato. It's a real yummy tomato. I actually did grow that one. And and one of my favorite peppers, I have Orange Blaze. That's a yummy sweet, it's shaped like, like a bell pepper. And, and I save some of my sunflowers. If you follow me online in the summer, I love growing just all different kinds of sunflowers. And so what I did was saved some of the heads, mixed them up, and I regrow them periodically, and I have some. So whoever wins has the most retweets on their image tonight from Gardenchat, they're going to get a nice little selection of seeds that I'm going to send them. What I just mentioned there, some of my favorites. And Pam, I miss you. I like looking at your seeds, though. There you are.
I'll do the tallying shortly, and we'll announce it on Twitter. How's that sound?
Yeah, there's so many photos. Look at this.
This is my favorite thing for watering seedlings. It is so gentle.
What?
So gentle. I'm not sure if I can get this on the camera. Let me just put it right up there so it'll bug you. Look at this. It's got little perforations in it. It's like a little watering head. I'm not sure if you can see the perforations.
Not really, but that's cool. You could tweet a picture out.
Yeah, so it fits on a bottle.
That's really cool.
And they're like a couple $, and the set comes with a few of them. So maybe this one will show you little perforations. No?
Look at that. No, I can't really see it here, but what is it? Just like a little salt shaker, a bunch of little holes in it?
Yeah,
Okay.
And it is the gentlest watering thing I have ever found. I've tried a number of them, because you want that really, really gentle little bit of sprinkle when you first put the seeds in, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the gentlest rain shower I've ever found. And I've tried a few things.
You just hold it upside down, or do you squirt it a little when you get it to work?
Squeeze a little bit if you want to. And you can put your fertilized water in here. So if you have fertilized water, you just soluble and put it right in there. And you get a set of 3 or 4 of them for like $2 from Lee Valley. I can't beat it. I have tried so many things, and that is the best seedling watering spout I've ever found. And they're like $2 from Lee Valley.
Can you will you tweet that out? I've never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
LeeValley.com. It's a great supply store. Disclaimer: going to Lee Valley, you're going to spend a fortune because you will fall in love with everything.
You like their stuff?
Everything. They've got kitchen supplies there, Bren.
Really?
They've got really, really, really good kitchen supplies there.
They're smart. Seed stuff and kitchen stuff. Kind of circle, right? That's cool.
They've got all the building supplies you would want too, all the hardware, the most amazing hardware for your redesigns. And I'm not kidding you. Like you'll spend a fortune there. They're amazing.
They ship to the US?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh, yeah. They're dangerous.
Let's check them out.
And this is what I was telling you about earlier today, Bren. Not sure if you could see that.
Yeah.
It's a 10, I think 5210.
Yes.
And it's this plant start stuff, and it's a soluble fertilizer, and this is what I use after the first leaves come out. Okay, so it's you could buy it at the store, you could buy it wherever, and I use this one with my plant start.
Okay.
And it's not because it's promoting plant product or anything else. I've just found that this is the one that has a really good mixture,
right?
And it works really well for me.
That's very cool. I've never seen that before, but I've never looked. So
it's called Plant Starter. It's Plant Prod Ultimate. It's this one says this is probably made in Canada. Yes, this is a made in Canada with micronutrient. But you know what? I'm sure you could find like a 105210 somewhere, or a 10 some higher number 10 somewhere.
Okay.
As long as the middle is high.
Okay. Maybe I know Flying Fish works in the garden center. They have a garden center. Have you seen that product? I don't know. I've never seen that. Maybe they have it at their garden center. I'm not sure. But yeah, tweet me that. I want to check that out.
I'm going to show you this here too.
I like show and tell.
People who say that they can't get their heat mats, like the high quality, take any cheap heat mat, put this little probe on top of it, and put this thermostat on it, and all of a sudden you have like a grower quality, heat mat. Well, not grower quality, but you have one with a thermostat. You could put an aftermarket thermostat on your heat mat.
Okay. So
if you're worried about thermostats, there you go. You can actually do that.
That's nice.
So there's your show and tell, Bren.
I know you have all the fun toys.
That's why I said you don't need these. You don't need them. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to show you the fun toys, and it's because sometimes it becomes like a hobby.
Yeah.
But if you want to just save money, you don't need the toys. Okay. Right. If you don't want to save money, but for $2, seriously, this thing right here.
I gotta find one of those.
I honestly, I love them. I absolutely love them. I think I buy them in bulk and give them away to people at my little growing groups because I can't find anything that's as good, and it just uses any old pop bottle.
Very cool.
So yeah, I will definitely get this tally done, but not before. Obviously, I've missed 11 o'clock already.
Yeah.
So I will find out this one. Let's see here, make faces at you.
No.
While I'm reading.
How about we can just announce it on Twitter, right? It's not a big deal.
I think so, Bren.
Yeah, because
I'll stop making
pictures. Thank you for joining us. Is it? I meant to click on. I love it on Blab here because you can actually click on the person's icon and you can catch them over on Twitter. So it's Leela. Thanks for joining us, the Texan. Very cool. Hope to see you over on Twitter. Yeah, so what do you think? We should probably maybe go off the record.
I think so.
I'm a little late here. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I was running around out in the greenhouse, and actually the weird warm weather, not to rub it in. I know it's cold where you're at, but it's kind of making me feel weird.
Compared to what I'm used to. It's been warm compared to what I'm used to, so this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it just feels weird. So anyhow, so lots of blabs going on this week, and maybe I'll see you around on one of them, right?
Oh, possibly. Possibly with some people who chimed in here and asked some awesome questions.
Yes. Yeah, because if you're on Blab tonight, you can click on the little circles above and follow everybody. That way you know when they will have a live Blab. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go off the record. But before I do, thank you for joining us. And I hope you'll jump over on hashtag Gardenchat on Twitter during the week. Share your gardens, share seeds, or just say hey to Pam Growing North or me. I'm Bren at BG_garden. Thank you.